Hello, welcome to our presentation today. Today we're going to be talking about leading technological change following Christ's example. Um, Today we're going to delve into how different adapter categories and Christian leadership principles can guide us through navigating technological change within our organization here at Whitestone Christian Academy, and see how we can make things go a little smoother when we add new technologies. So let's go ahead and take a second and let's just define what our actual adapter categories are. So we have 5 of them here. So the first one's going to be our innovators. These are like the trailblazers. They're always eager to explore new ideas and technologies, even amidst uncertainty and skepticism. They want to see it for themselves. They want to try it for themselves. They want to be the first in the door. They're not always trusted by their peers because they are always jumping from new thing to new thing to new thing. The next is going to be our early adapters, and that's going to be about 13.5% of our staff. Now, this group, think of them as trendsetters within our organization. Influential figures who lead the way in embracing new technology. They're probably a little bit more techy, they're probably a little bit more comfortable with it, but they don't just jump on every bandwagon when we talk about technology. Next, we have our early majority, which is about 34%. That's one of our largest groupings. So this group is kind of the middle ground between the skeptical and the part ready for change. They have some misgivings, but they're open to try new technology. So they're always going to give us their open mind until we give them a reason not to have one. Then we have our late majority. Now they are the skeptics who eventually adopt an innovation after seeing their peers doing so. So they want someone else to try it before they do. They want to know it's not a waste of their time. So we're going to look at this group and we're going to give them some facts, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. Lastly, we have our laggards. That's about 16% of our staff. This group usually holds on tight to tradition. Now, they are resistant to change and adapting innovation only when they feel it's absolutely necessary, is when they jump on board. And you have to remember, they come from what they're doing is working. So they don't want to try something new every 5 minutes. And in here, in our educational system, we do have a new trend coming out every 5 minutes. And technology changes so quickly that this group is going to be a little resistant to us. So let's look at our first 3 categories. And I called this harnessing potential because, let's be honest, these are our assets that are going to help us a lot. Now let's look at this in a different way. We're going to look at some of the Christ leaderships when we look at like our innovators. So like Christ welcomed everyone, including the outcast, we should embrace innovators and provide platforms for them to experiment with their new ideas. So, there was a lot of people who Christ said, "Oh, come on, I know everybody thinks you're kind of crazy, but come on, let's learn some more. Let me see. Let me, don't cast that first stone. I got you." Then we have our earlier adapters. And just as Christ attracted disciples like Peter and John, we should identify influential figures within our organization who can champion our new technologies. I mean, they don't have to become leaders. They're already leaders in our organization, and we need to use them as an asset because their potential to be the greatest advertising of how great our technology is them. Lastly, we have our early majority. Similar to how Christ demonstrated the validity of his teaching through miracles, we should provide tangible evidence of the benefits of new technology to convince this early majority. They want to see something that says, "Hey, I get it, I understand." So if we give this and we roll it out to our innovators and they kind of look at it and they're like, "Oh, you know what? If we modified this and if we did this, that would make this work better." And then give it to our early adapters who are more willing to do it anyway and say, "Hey, they said maybe we should do this and do this." Then our early adapters can actually modify it some more, because flexibility is the name of the game when it comes to new technology. It has to work for Whitestone Christian Academy, not every other school. It's got to work for us, it's got to work for our teachers, and it's got to work for our students. So these 2 are going to lead the path, and then our early majority is going to take what they've done and they're going to see the benefits and go, oh yeah, we've researched it, you're good to go. And they're going to help us out. Okay, so I titled these last two, Getting Them Involved and Invested. Because lay majority, they, much like Christ patiently taught his disciples, we should provide guidance and support to help the late majority overcome their skepticism and adapt new technologies. We need to convey to them, hey, we're going to train you, and then guess what? We're going to train you after the training. We're going to stick with you until you understand this. Because we need to get them away from that. They're just going to hand us a new technology. No, we're going to show them this is how we do it. And lastly, we have our laggards. And they have a reason for their opposition. Just as Christ showed compassion to those who opposed him, we should approach laggards with understanding, and we should tailor our communication to address their concerns and fears. We got to listen. There's a reason that they're coming at us this way. We need to know it, and then we're going to honestly and truthfully say, hey, here's how we can fix this. Hey, we've tested this. We've had people modify it. You're like number 5. You're the end. We've worked out all the kinks, so you're ready to go. Finally, let's talk about why it's important that we lead a system that models Christ. By leading with empathy, compassion, understanding, we can create a culture here at Whitestone Academy of inclusion and innovation within our organization, just as Christ did during his time on earth. We have been given the perfect playbook. Christ led many people. He led them to him. He convinced them to do what he needed. And he did not do that except through modeling. He knew who to give facts to. He knew who to tell stories to. He knew who to give analogies. He knew who to tell a parable to. We have to take these 5 people and we have to meet them where they're at, just like Christ met his people where they're at. And as we approach it this way with our Christian attitudes, our students are going to see that, and they too will approach it with their Christian attitude. I want to thank you for joining me for this presentation today. If you need to get in touch with me further, my email is taryn.e.lovell@gmail.com. I've included the references from the information that you've seen here. If you want to learn more, please study and look. I hope you have a blessed day. Thank you.